The world's leading oil trader, Vitol, says Iran has earned more from its crude despite Western sanctions. Vitol CEO Ian Taylor said an increase in world oil prices has more than compensated Iran for revenues lost due to lower crude exports. Oil was traded at $121 a barrel on Tuesday. This following Iran's announcement of a cut in crude sales to France and Britain. That move came in response to the EU's decision to impose an oil embargo on Iran over its nuclear energy program. Meanwhile, Vitol has warned that crude prices could spike above $150 a barrel if tensions over Iran's nuclear energy program escalate into a military confrontation. From Chicago, I'm joined by Stephen Lenman, writer and radio host. Welcome to the program, sir. Mr. Lenman, first of all, the world's leading oil trader, Vitol, has said that Iran has earned more from its crude despite the Western sanctions. So it seems that these sanctions haven't worked after all.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I wrote an article after the EU announced its decision, and I said they shot themselves in the foot. It was a foolish decision. I really want to say one other thing that I didn't say in the article. When will these countries grow up and make their own decisions and not take orders from Washington? Because Washington is orchestrating everything, pressuring world countries to cut off trade with Iran, all trade, including oil. Well, some countries are adults, unlike too many of the EU ones. China said, no, we'll keep buying oil. India said the same thing. Other countries said the same thing. They all should say the same thing. And if they did, America would never get away with these rogue policies. And imagine this as well. The supposed Iranian attacks, I say supposed, they're entirely spurious. The ones in India, in Georgia, in Bangkok. Why on earth would Iran want to attack anybody and a valued ally, a valued trading ally? There's no question that Israel and probably CIA's dirty hands are behind this to ratchet up anti-Iranian sentiment, to make these countries want to cut off trade with Iran. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think the EU oil embargo will work.
And so how will Western trade with Iran change in the foreseeable future then?
Well, some countries will cut it off. Iran has already stopped or will stop selling oil to companies in France and Britain. Well, in Europe, they're the two prime offenders. I say, bravo, cut them all off. And what you've done is give other countries an ultimatum, a very sensible one. Either agree to a long-term deal with Iran and that payments will be guaranteed, or you'll stop shipping oil to them. If it was my oil, I would demand a deal like that. Either sign a contract absolutely guaranteed, or no oil will be forthcoming, and I would put a time limit on it. And if the agreement didn't come in proper form, then the oil would be cut off. I think Iran can sell lots of oil to lots of willing buyers. Iran has very valuable, high-quality oil. There are lots of them that very much want to line up to buy it. Again, I think the embargo will fail.
And of course, how does this sanction game, if you can call it, play out in light of Washington's insistence that all options are on the table when it comes to Iran?
Well, I guess maybe all options are on the table. You never can know. Washington, I must say, has a permanent war policy, and it makes a decision that it wants to initiate regime change in different countries. Well, we know they went to war with Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya. Well, will they ratchet it up and go to war with Syria? Will they also do it with Iran? I must say, there are cooler heads in Washington and in Israel that know the absolute folly of doing this. Now, which side will win, I don't know. But there are cooler heads, people in high places, who know this is absolutely insane to go to war with countries like this. The entire region will be embroiled. There's a strong possibility that Russia and China will come in to defend their interests. Do these people, I call them deranged, the ones who want to go to war. Do these people willing to risk the possibility of general war, dare we give it another name, World War III, to further their imperial agenda? Well, again, there are some people in America and Israel who absolutely are against this. They're doing everything they can to stop it. I remember during the Cold War, there were crazies in America when Ronald Reagan was president that wanted to, before Ronald Reagan was president, but also during his tenure, that wanted to bomb Russia, the Soviet Union, with nuclear weapons. There were many more on the other side who said, there is no way we will do anything like that. And thankfully, the crazies didn't prevail. I hope they don't prevail this time, because the consequences could be catastrophic, well beyond the boundaries of the countries that they attack. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Anything is possible. As far as the embargo and the oil sanctions, I honestly don't think it'll work. How much higher oil prices will go, who knows? It depends on how much the rhetoric gets ratcheted up. The more rhetoric there is, the higher the oil prices, the more profits for Iran. Talk about shooting themselves in the foot.
Indeed, and of course, indeed, time will tell. We'll leave it there for the time being. Many thanks to Stephen Lenman, writer and radio host from Chicago.